Hi, welcome. Great to have you back. Hope you all can hear me well. All right, another beautiful day. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about B.E.S.T or bioenergetic synchronization technique. We'll get into that, but first let's start off as usual. I'm going to do a little bit of saging. Also, I'd like to mention I thought it was interesting. Saw an article the other day that talked about how saging cleans the air, helps on a scientific level, which is interesting because if that is true, that the sage can cleanse the air, then it makes sense why people use it to help cleanse the energy, if you will. Be the same thing to some extent. There's bacteria in the air, and the sage is, say, trapping it or killing it in the air itself, then you could say it's cleansing the air or the energy around us. Now, also with bioenergetic, we're going to talk about our biofield, which extends out, long. Usually, it's arm width around us, and circumference above my head, below me too. And what that does, or not what that does, what that is it's our energy field, our bubble. How some people sit too close to us and you say, oh, you're in my bubble. That's the same thing, same concept as people being in your bubble, people being in your energy field or your biofield. And so you have this field out around you, and through certain traumas or actually, I believe the word that we use is interference, which interference can encompass quite a few things. That's why we use that word. It's not, sometimes it's more than one thing. But anyway, as far as traumas or certain things happen, our energy gets segmented. It doesn't flow. Our bubble isn't as strong, maybe. It'd be a way to put it. So what B.E.S.T does, again, bioenergetic synchronization technique, is helps go back and align the energy body and the physical body, or help strengthen your bubble, your biofield, if you will. I actually came across this really great quote. I want to read it real quick. And it's just, the biofield is composed of both measurable electromagnetic energy and hypothetical. Now, that's pretty big. So hypothetical, I mean, that's us speculating. We're not 100% sure on that. But it does say measurable electromagnetic energy. So science has been able to measure your biofield. Some of this is, a little bit maybe out there or mystic, whatever. But some of this is really based in science. It's really, we're getting to this. I talked about the AO scanner the other day and how, it's like putting on headphones, but it can scan your whole body. And I was like, what? But sure enough, it did. And again, I've had a few surgeries and it picked right up on those. It said, hey, these aren't working as good as they could be, or, that's not what the machine says, but you get the idea. Anyway, so yeah, it's an amazing machine. And so, some of this woo-woo, say magic, whatever you want to call it, mystic, some of that stuff's starting to prove out to be science, and it's very interesting. I find it fascinating. Right now I'm shuffling some cards. We'll do our daily mantra, get into that for a minute. But yeah, anyway, so as far as the biofield and B.E.S.T, it's, Kirlian photography. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, then I'm sure people will be happy to correct me. No, but I believe, yeah, and it's taking a picture of your aura, which I actually have a picture done a few years back of me and my aura. I'll see if maybe I can add that to the video. I don't know. This camera doesn't seem to do too well. Maybe it's my lighting, which I'll fix future. Alright, so let's see which card we're going to get today. We also, like I said, talk about different meditations, these mantras. The other day I talked about one of the ones that most people think of when they go to meditation, and also the one that most people think is most difficult, and that's still the body, still the mind, still the soul. I'm at still the mind. I can still the body. Usually it's best to get comfortable. Sometimes you can do it laying down. Some people fall asleep. Hey, naps great too. I'm a supporter of naps. But no, as far as a good meditation, you can even do it, legs crossed, just sitting down, your back against the wall, a comfort chair, if you have a certain chair that you like. Preferably not a rocking chair because you want to hold still. And again, don't get discouraged when you do, maybe move a little bit or I really got an itch, whatever. It's okay. Just, pull yourself back, start focusing on your breathing. That's definitely been the biggest one that helps me when I'm doing this meditation, is just focus on my breathing. In with the nose, out with the mouth. Sometimes in and out the nose, that's fine too. You can feel it, go through the nose passage, make a note of that, how's your stomach? Are you breathing in the chest? Are you breathing in your stomach? Like, how's that? You definitely want to be breathing with your stomach. And yeah, you just, go into it, kind of relax a little bit. If you're sitting up straight, you'd still, I know in your back you can get tight or tense, but you still want to relax in a sense. And that's why I say even laying down. I've done it laying down where it's easier to hold still. You still get those twitches or, urges to itch or scratch, and you just ignore those. And then again, the stilling of the mind, for me, it's like a motion picture plays in my brain. So it's memories, movies, events, thoughts, music, whatever. Just it plays. I try not to hang on or listen to it. I listen to it. Let me rephrase that. I try not to hold on to it. Go down the rabbit hole, if I may use that expression. Like when for me, I have my eyes closed, thoughts, memories, all this stuff going through. And when it's passing and I go, oh yeah, hey, that's when it pulls me down. But if I just keep letting it pass, whatever it is, it passes. And, again, it's slowed down, but it hasn't stopped yet. So I imagine that's my next step. That's where I'm headed. Also, I'd like to maybe share another meditation with you. Like I said, I've learned this from Dr. Wayne Dyer. And it's kind of a guided meditation. Well, when I listened to it, it was guided, but after that, I've done it on my own. I don't necessarily need to listen to it guided because I know how it's performed. So, with this one, again, get comfortable. You're gonna lie down, sit down, close your eyes. Maybe focus on your breathing, and wherever you're at, you'd say your house, your apartment. If you're sitting in your bedroom, relax. Say sitting next to your bed. You're leaning against your bed, you're laying there. I want you to picture yourself outside of the house or the apartment, and you walk up to the front door and you walk in, let yourself in. It's your house, your apartment. And then, go through the living room, kitchen, dining, wherever, to your room, to where you're at. If you are in the living room on the couch, then go into the living room, find yourself on the couch. And then you're going to start a little further out. And so, again, you start outside your house, and then you'll move to, say, outside the city, and you'll find your house on your street, then go to your house, go inside your house, find yourself. And then from there, you're going to move a little bit further back, maybe the county. For us, it's city, county. Maybe we'll look around the county, and then, okay, this is my city. find my street, my house, and then I'll go inside and find myself again. Move out a little bit further, maybe I'm looking at the states. In my mind, at this moment, I'm kind of floating above the United States, and I'm looking down, and I, find my state, find my county, find my city. Slowly just narrow it down to where I'm at. Get into my house, go inside, find myself, whether I'm on my bed or in the comfy living room, wherever you've decided to do this meditation. View, zoom, view, zoom further back out, and now, maybe I'm more into space. I'm not in the atmosphere. And I've got to find, my country, and then I find the state, and then I find my county, and then I find my city. And I'm just using those as references. But yeah, you get further and further out until, for myself, I'm out by the moon, and I'm looking at the planet, and I'm going in, and I'm finding my country, and then I'm finding my state, and then I'm finding my county, and then I'm finding my city. And it's a wonderful meditation on how small you are, but yet how significant. At least that's what I get out of the meditation. I thought it was very powerful. I don't know. I couldn't say how often I do it, just when I feel like it, but I do try to meditate quite a bit. There's lots of different kinds of meditations. We'll get into those a little bit later. Okay, I've been shuffling these cards for a minute now. We'll just pick one. We'll go with this one right here. See if I'm get this one right. Herm Kalim. Strengths, self-confidence. All right. Harim Kalim. It's a picture of a lion. And then that way, if I'm reading it or pronouncing it wrong, you can get it yourself. What? Harim Kalim, I believe is how you would say that. Let's go to the book and read what this one is today. Strengths, self-confidence, and courage. Drawing in knowledge and truth to the core self. This mantra harnesses the focus of success, finding the courage to take the leap, even when our knees are knocking with fear. I apologize. And our heart is racing. We overcome the fear of letting go and walking into the unknown. We don't limit ourselves, nor do we allow others to convince us that we are limited in what we can do. Man is not made to be defeated. We rise above and say, "Get out of my way. I have things to do." The mantra make sure I'm reading that right. Imar emerges divine guidance. Me instills the highest truth in our awareness, and Kalim is the attractive force that brings these qualities directly into our life. Together, this mantra strengthens trust and confidence that all our actions are guided by the infinite wisdom of our higher self. They ensure our outer success will also be our spiritual inner success. This chant brings a renewal of life in a powerful way. It brings us to the life we want and deserve. Awesome. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Okay. Yim Hrim Kalim. Him Hrim Kalim. Yim Hrim Kalim. Yim Hrim Kalim. Yim Hrim Kalim. Yim Hrim Kalim. Im Harim Kali. Just a few more times. How do you feel when you say this? Are you relaxed? Is it relaxing? Do you feel weight? Do you feel strengthening? Im Harim Kalim. Im Harim Kalim. Im Harim Kalim. Almost said that backwards, but that's alright. That's why I got the little booklet. I don't know if you guys can. Nah, I'll get a better camera, don't worry. Alright, maybe I can set up a second one for. Anyway. Im Harim Kalim. Im Harim Kalim. Im Harim Kalim. You know, me just saying this, in my shoulders I feel just kind of a relaxing almost. You know, just kind of like rolling into position and just, I don't know, that's just me. Im Harim Kalim. Almost a straightening, like a proud, or I don't know. That's interesting. Im Harim Kalim. Do it for another minute, and then we'll move on. Im Harim Kalim. Also, you can say it quiet in your mind. You can, very quiet under your breath. I don't know if the mic's picking this up, but and again, you can say this even loud and Im Harim Kalim, and really, put your voice into it. Me personally, I like to just say it kind of not quietly, but just in a, I don't know, less quieter than normal, but not where I'm almost saying it to myself. Maybe I'm whispering it to myself. Oh, that might be a better description. And I've noticed too, sometimes, you can pause this, do this for 20 minutes, come back, however you want to do this. I don't think I've done these for 20 minutes, but maybe about 5 minutes. But anyway, when I do these, a lot of times I won't focus necessarily on my voice. And sometimes I'll find myself saying this very quiet, and it'll get louder. And then there's other times I'm really loud saying the mantra, and I slowly get quieter. And, so just kind of play with it. Again, see how you feel too. Do you feel better? Does it feel like a weight's lifted off your shoulder? Do you, how? I don't know. And for me, again, I feel just more kind of straighter, more confident. Maybe would be. All right, so that's the mantra for today. All right, and again, we're going to talk about B.E.S.T, or Bioenergetic Synchronization Technique. I said this earlier. I love it again. I'm going to say it again. I love it again. I love it, so I'm going to say it again. Your biofield is composed of both measurable electromagnetic energy and hypothetical. Okay, so as we get into B.E.S.T, for myself, I kind of just stumbled upon this. I had some family members who are my mentors who basically were learning how to do this themselves, and they needed practice, and so they said, hey, would you allow me to work on you? And I wanted to help, so I said, yeah, definitely. And it was a win-win situation. I finally, after, I don't know, quite a few treatments, I realized this is something that I want to learn. And so I started to go with my mentors to the B.E.S.T training. The first one was in Seattle. That was really amazing. That was that was the bigger eye-opening aha kind of. I had a really powerful energy shift. And what was interesting too is because the lady that was working on me when I had this strong energy shift, it was because I asked her, I was like, "Have you done this before?" Of course, being nervous, never have done this before. I'm like, "Oh no, I'm gonna do this right. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this lady up if that's a possibility." Like all these worries going through my head. And she's like, "I've only done this 2 or 3 times." And I thought, oh, well, hey, that's a few more times than I've ever done it. But, at least we're both starting off together and we can learn together. And if I do mess up, maybe she won't notice or be as mad. Sorry, I need a drink. Or sorry, not sorry. No, I don't know. Anyway, so she elected to go first. And then so I laid down. She gave me the treatment. When I sat up, I felt amazing. Like I said, huge energy shift. She laid down. I worked on her. I don't know if she felt as big of an energy shift. We thanked each other, moved on. That was my first day. It was really amazing, incredible. From there, I moved. We went to Chicago, I believe, and then Phoenix, Arizona. I could have those backwards. We might have gone to Phoenix and then Chicago. But anyway, both those 2 cities, also LA. Really amazing experience and journey. I'll talk more about that on the way. But with B.E.S.T, we call it interference. But through interference, we have stagnant, or our energy gets stagnated, usually through trauma. But so I've got more notes over here. And so, but B.E.S.T is a non-forceful energy balancing hands-on procedure used to help to reestablish the full healing potential of the body. That's huge. So let's break this down a little bit. It's non-forceful. There's no popping or cracking, although it was invented or pioneered by a chiropractor. And that's something that he learned is, you don't necessarily need to crack and pop. The body has an innate intelligence all of its own. So with this hands-on, non-forceful hands-on procedure, help to reestablish the full healing potential of the body. Okay, so the healing potential of the body. Well, let's talk about a paper cut. If I get a paper cut on my finger, or actually right here, I got a nice little cut. I don't know. Wait, you see that right there? Got a nice little cut from the dog leash. She pulled on it, and a little rope burn. But I don't necessarily have to go to a doctor for that. I don't have to tell my body how to heal that. It knows as an innate intelligence. I can't talk. So, for a broken bone too. I recently did have a broken bone. Not this year, but last year, and I broke my finger. Anyway, and I had to go to the doctor to get the bone set. The bone was going to heal on its own, but I wanted it to heal properly or in, the right spot. So I had to go to the doctor to get the bone set. Wore a lovely little cast that kept my finger nice and straight and rigid, because it needed to keep the bone in the spot as the body heals. So your body can heal and knows how to. I, as a B.E.S.T practitioner, and as far as I know, any and all other B.E.S.T practitioners do not heal you, do not do any. We establish or get the body back into its natural healing. How did we say that? The full healing potential of the body. We help to reestablish that. Now, part of that is also, what you eat. So this does go back into that holistic part that I was talking about, where it's not, you just come lay down on a table, get a B.E.S.T treatment, and boom, you're fine. I mean, there's more to it. There's levels. Um, sometimes you get homework, and sometimes your homework can be journaling to meditating to self-care. I had one lady I was working with, and that came up. I was like, I had a picture of like a bubble bath, and got kind of confused, and I told her, I was like, I'm not sure how to say this, but you should go home and take a nice hot bubble bath. And she's like, man, I love those. That's a great way for me to relax, and that's a great technique of self-care, is I believe how she said that. And I was like, oh yes, okay, so your homework is self-care. Again, with the holistic healing, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. Best I've seen work on physical, emotional. I would assume spiritual, but I don't know. We can dive more into that later. Anyway, so with B.E.S.T 2, another way that it's going to reestablish the full healing potential of the body is so let's look at the body. We have a sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic is fight or flight. 100 years ago or a million years ago, ancestors saw a saber-tooth tiger, and their body slipped into this fight or flight. Unfortunately, nowadays we're a little bit different. So another thing that will trigger our sympathetic nervous system is anxiety. A lot of people seem to have high anxiety, whether they're driving on their way to work and they about get in a car accident. That'll trigger fight or flight. If they do get into work and let's say they get chewed out by a boss, or they're stressed about a deadline, you're already in fight or flight earlier. Now you're going to stay there even, longer. And so just throughout the day, through stresses, people can stay in fight or flight. They don't get into the parasympathetic nervous system, which allows your organs to digest. Well, sorry, I'm stumbling my words. It allows your body to move into its full healing potential, where your food's it's gonna get your blood to the digestive system, so your food can get digested properly, and you can get the full amount of nutrients out of your food. It's going to help open up certain parts of your brain, as I understand it, to where you can critically think, logically think better overall. And so you have the two nervous systems that your body can run on. Now, they're both great, because when you're in the sympathetic nervous system and you have fight or flight, and you're going to need to fight or run, it's going to put most of your blood to your muscles, not as much to your digestive system. So there's the difference between the two, where your parasympathetic nervous system is not going to pump as much blood to your muscles. It's going to give it more to the digestive system and to some of these repairing, relaxing, maybe not relaxing, but repairing, healing kind of, cells and tissues. There was another mentor I worked with, a great, awesome doctor. He had a clock, and around the clock, so the top's 12 o'clock, and around it, he had different body parts at that time of day, within those increments around the clock. And I asked him, I said, what is that? And he says, oh, that's what time of day your body's repairing that particular organ or that particular part of your body. And I thought, that's really interesting. And I thought, so I wonder, and again, I don't know, I'd have to look into this, but if kidneys were at a certain time, then maybe if you're having kidney problems, it might be beneficial to take a nap during that time of the day, because your body does most of its healing while you're resting or sleeping. Hence your rest and relaxation, parasympathetic nervous system. And so, most people, again, when you get sick, they know, I'll go get extra sleep, try and get caught up on my sleep, even is a common term when you get sick. Oh, I need to catch up on my sleep. Okay, well, why is that? It's because your body does the most healing while you're sleeping. It does the most repairing, however you want to say that. Again, I don't heal anybody. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to diagnose. this is what I'm finding and what I'm learning. Do your own research, look into it yourself. There's also lots of other modalities besides B.E.S.T. There's Reiki, Rapid Eye, quite a few others, which we'll get into those too. So, again, back with B.E.S.T. So we talked about interference in the body. Now, what is interference? Interference is trauma, toxins, and thoughts. Now, trauma is stored in the memory, toxins are stored in the body, and then there's stressful thoughts in the mind. So, for myself, I had, bad reoccurring thought in a sense. And it was usually just when I was going to bed, I'd lay down and, oh no, what if somebody broke into my house? Or, what if, oh no, that kind of thought. It didn't last long, but I did have that for a little while. Also, something that helped me with that is I started looking into different people have said this different ways. I've heard of one mentor talked about it, dragon slaying, slaying the demons, the beasts, whatever it is. But yeah, just those negative thoughts. One of my mentors likes to call it your itty bitty icky committee. I like that one too. Stinking thinking, it's those, negative thoughts. Oh no, what if somebody broke in, or what if this happened? Well, those, again, also, as I've talked about with some of the Stoic philosophy that helped me, is there are things that I can control and things that I can't control. Well, if somebody did break in, I will do the best of my ability to protect myself and my family. Other than that, I have no control over it. Hopefully, I could put that in God's hands and he can, that never happens. But, I don't know. It is what it is. I try not to think about it. Like I said, I do a couple preventions, got certain things, talk to the kids if this ever did happen, went out the back to the neighbors or however, I set up a plan, and that's as much as I can do. And so then I let go and let God, if you will, and move on. It is what it is, and it'll be what it'll be. But I definitely think that B.E.S.T helped to get rid of some of that stinking thinking, help clear that out, or even maybe just help me focus on it. There's a great thing in B.E.S.T, and I remember when I first heard this, man, a real head scratcher. I was like, what? But it's think about what you think about while you're thinking about it. Again, I was like, think about what I'm thinking about while I think about it? How does that work? And for me, what my aha moment was as I was in the bathroom and I was looking in the mirror, fixing my beard, like whatever, plucking my unibrow, however you want to say that, doing self-care. And in my mind was the classic Hollywood, hall scene of apartments or some hotel, and the hero's running down the hall, and he jumps through the glass, and the whole building blows up, and fire right behind him at his heels, and and I stopped and I was like, why am I thinking about this? What am I thinking about? Like, there was no movie in particular. It wasn't, I couldn't even picture the actor's face or the hero. It was just some hero guy jumping out a window and the building was blowing up. I thought, why am I thinking about this? What is this helping me at all? And then I kind of realized that, okay, think about what I'm thinking about. So, this building, and this guy jumping out of it, and it's blowing up. And then think about what I'm thinking about. And I was just like, oh, okay, I think I get that now. Yeah, that's not helpful or productive. That doesn't move me forward in any way. So I just let it go. And I started thinking more about my day and, started manifesting or shaping my day and thinking, you know what? When my kids get home, I can't wait to give them big hugs and talk to them about their day and, find out a little bit about school. And, I changed my thinking and it is a daily process. There's still times where I start thinking of something dumb, or maybe an old song starts playing in my head, and I just that's not what I want to think about anymore, and I change it. Getting a little sidetracked from B.E.S.T, but yeah, that was something that B.E.S.T I believe definitely helped me with. Now, we talked about trauma, toxins, and thoughts, interference that B.E.S.T helps go in and remove. So, in the mind, thoughts, negative thoughts, toxins stored in the body, whether that's alcohol, drugs, and it's funny, this big thing about drugs, and don't get me wrong, yeah, I'm not trying to advocate for them, but people forget that caffeine or nicotine are a drug sometimes, and so it's not always what we think it is. It's not cocaine, heroin, which it is, but drugs can be other things. It could be too much soda even. I know for myself, I like to drink Coca-Cola, and I've gotten caffeine headaches where if I don't get the caffeine, and it's not necessarily from Coke, other caffeine drinks, but I know I've experienced that, and so that's kind of an example of the toxins in the body. I've read and have heard from great friends and mentors about some of these foot baths that you can do where they draw all the toxins out of your feet, and the water is like crystal clear when you start, and then at the end of it, it's like black sludge almost. It's nasty. And it's like, wow, that was all in my body. Maybe I'll try and we'll do one of those, see if we can get one of those going. But yeah, it's crazy, and so those are toxins. We have them in our body, and it's good to release them. And then the last one was trauma stored in the memory. Usually a great example for that is car accident. There's another story, a little bit longer. I personally love this. I think it's a great one. Hypothetically thinking, let's say you're a little kid and you move into a new house with your mommy and daddy, and you're all excited, and this new house, new adventure, and your dad brings in a box, and here's a bunch of stuff, and you unpack it, and I'm going to go get more of your supplies and your clothes and, maybe your dresser and your bed, but, hang tight. This is your new bedroom. Decide where you want to put stuff. Yay, this is an exciting moment. So dad leaves. You're in your bedroom, and you're excited and you're happy, and you're digging through your box, and you find your crayons, and you think, oh, you know what? What would be more exciting is, or what would be most memorable was to capture this exciting moment. So you grab your crayon and you start drawing on the wall, and you draw the house, and you draw mom, and you draw dad, and you maybe a little puppy or kitty, and then dad comes in with the next box, and his reaction isn't, oh yay, look at the pretty drawing. His reaction is, what the, you're drawing on my new walls. And so he kind of freaks out a little bit. And now you have, say, and again, a hypothetical, you have your creativity, and now it's tied with shame, and they're locked together because you were being creative, and your dad came in and he started yelling at you, and and not necessarily your dad, but just, for whatever reason, you had this trauma. Again, I like to even use a car accident. You're driving down the road and a car hits you, and it's very traumatizing. I've met some people that say, oh, I don't drive down this road, and I asked, well, okay, well, how come? And they said, well, because I got a car accident on that road. And I thought, okay, but it was something in them that, okay, well, I've got hurt down this road. I don't want to go down that road again. It was very interesting. At the time, I didn't know what I was hearing, or I guess looking at. Now, after studying a little bit, and I'm now more knowledgeable, and I get why they did that, why their body would say no, not again. I've also done a couple studies or classes on pain management. It looks like I have gone over my time a little bit. That's fine. We'll go a little bit longer, and then I'll wrap this up. Just about B.E.S.T. So those are the different interferences, the trauma, toxins, and thoughts. Now, through the traumas, they can be, even loss of a loved one. It doesn't necessarily have to be something bad that's happened to you, although I guess the loss of a loved one could be a bad thing too. So through that, B.E.S.T helps get out that interference in a sense. How it does that? Well, one way I know is it moves you from your sympathetic nervous system into your parasympathetic nervous system, which all that means is it moves you from fight or flight into rest and relaxation. It moves it to where the body can naturally heal and repair itself the way it was designed and meant to do. A little bit more real quick, just on who or where B.E.S.T came up with. It is offered through the Mortar Health System or the Mortar Health Alliance. I believe it's the Mortar Health System is what they call it. Who came up with it? His name was Milton Theodore Mortar, or Ted Mortar is what they called him. The first seminar for B.E.S.T was held in 1972. So that's almost 47 years ago. Or B.E.S.T about 47 years old. That's older than I am. It's not something new, although for some of you, and I know for myself, it was new for me hearing about this and even how it works, or, say getting into energy working, energy healing, however you want to say it. So that's 47 years and it's going strong. His kids are still carrying the torch. Tom and Ted Mortar and their sister Sue. Susie wrote a book that I've started to read. It's really great. I will do a review on that. Hopefully we can maybe even get Tom or Ted on here and give them an interview and they can explain B.E.S.T and the Mortar Health System a little bit better than I can. I'm still learning. I find this stuff fascinating. I definitely will continue to look into this and bring you more. That is the time I have for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please join me again tomorrow. Thank you so much.